Hello Nidorinas and Nidorinos, I'm KingNido, and today we're coming in from Hammerlocke City, where it is the Draconids going up against the Lumiose Yellows, and both these sides have previously made the Elite Four, but this season so far they are being heavily overlooked. But do not count them out, because they have shown they are capable of taking down some very powerful sides. They do not want to be underestimated as they look to get back to those powerful positions. So with that said, let us know in the comments below who you think is going to win this matchup. Will it be the dragon types? Will it be the electric types? Let's go!
3, 2, 1, go!
And it will be Dedenne starting out with Rotom as it goes for the throat chop on to Shelgon. Rotom is going to follow it up with the Hypnosis, immediately putting Shelgon to sleep, who had a fantastic performance last round, as it is joined here by Flapple, who is going to have to do the heavy lifting while Shelgon is asleep. And it goes for the power trip onto Dedenne, who is looking to cause some mischief in this matchup. And we do see Shelgon there snoozing away, already being put out of action for the time being, as we get the retaliate from Dedenne, going for that wide awake Flapple, getting in some good damage there. And Rotom with the follow-up is going to go for the quick attack, keeping its attention onto Shelgon, as Flapple with the noble roar onto Rotom. That is going to lower its physical attack. It is much more of a special attack though, but that does get dropped, as well as Shelgon continuing to snooze away. It needs to wake up here for the Draconids to have a good start, but it is on the receiving end of a Steel Wing from Dedenne. And Rotom now going with the power trip. They want to get Shelgon off this field, but that does practically nothing to contribute, as Flapple with the tackle that is going to phase straight through Rotom, and Shelgon still fast asleep. The Draconids need it awoken here. Dedenne looking to capitalize, going with the Swagger. This is going to confuse the sleeping Pokemon, but also give it a massive attack boost, and that is already a base 95 attack that Shelgon is carrying there. Rotom with the follow-up, going with the Thunder Punch. This will be resisted there by the Dragon type. Flapple looking to capitalize here, going for the Rock Smash onto Dedenne. Not very effective. Gets in some good chip damage though, as finally Shelgon has awoken, but now it has that confusion to contend with. It needs to shake this off. It is at risk of taking itself out of contention, but it intelligently goes with the Aqua Ring, surrounding itself with that Veil of Water so it can get some much needed health back. And Dedenne is going to go for the Power Whip, though some more not very effective damage onto Shelgon, now putting it into knockout range. Rotom could capitalize, going for the Drain Punch, but it switches its attention to Flapple, gets the critical play, a fantastic connection. The skill swap from Flapple onto Dedenne, switching the hustle with that cheek pouch between the two, as we still have Shelgon here trying to shake off its confusion, and it is going to be successful in doing so, going with the Sludge Wave. Maybe it is more confused than we think, because it is just taking out its teammate Flapple with a super effective move. It does get super effective damage onto Dedenne as well, putting it into knockout range. Not very effective onto Rotom, as that Aqua Ring still taking effect onto Shelgon, taking it out of knockout range. Now it is going to be joined by Dracloak, who immediately is going to go for the Seed Flip to take Dedenne out of this contest, immediately leveling the playing field between the Draconids and the Yellows. Rotom, however, responds with the Guillotine. That is going to be avoided by Shelgon, but again, it still has that confusion to contend with. It needs to not take Dracloak out now. Instead, though, it does damage to itself, and it takes itself out of this match, putting the Yellows back in front. And it's now Pachirisu entering for the Lumiose Yellows. It is going to be Tatsugiri for the Draconids. Dracloak with the Overheat, but that is going to be avoided by Rotom, allowing Pachirisu to capitalize by going with the Floral Healing, but that's not capitalizing at all, and thankfully the opposing team are still at full strength as Tatsugiri goes with the Ivy Cudgel onto Rotom, getting some good damage there, and Rotom does respond with the Stone Axe onto Tatsugiri. Some good chip damage, but more importantly, against those entry hazards, those pointed stones floating on the side of the Hammerlocke Draconids, we get the Poison Fang on to Rotom. Once again, not very effective from Dracloak. It should know better. It's a part Ghost type. The Circle Throw, though, from Pachirisu is going to send Tatsugiri back to the bench and being dragged out in its place. It is going to be Gabite, the part Ground type. We'll see if it can capitalize on that. However, Rotom does have that Levitate ability. Those pointed stones digging into Gabite, but the Misty Explosion and Rotom takes itself out of this match, getting that super effective damage onto the Draconids here. Not doing too much damage, fortunately, to Pachirisu, but Gabite is going to chow down on its berry, restoring its health, thankfully holding that Enigma berry, so it has it after taking super effective damage. And we have Pawmot entering the match for the Lumiose Yellows, the Leaf Blade from Dracloak onto Pachirisu, getting some good damage there, but Pawmot is going to respond with the X Scissor, putting Dracloak into knockout range with that not very effective move. However, Dracloak is getting pumped thanks to that Lancet Berry. Pachirisu could go for the easy elimination, instead it sets up the Reflect on the side of the Lumiose Yellows, making them stronger against physical moves. Gabite with the confiding in Pawmot. Now it is going to lower that special attack. It is much more of a physical attacker. Dracloak with the Encore, unfortunately that is going to fail, and this opens the door for Pawmot to try and capitalize by going with the Sacred Fire to take Dracloak out of this match, putting the Lumiose Yellows back in front. And Pachirisu looking to follow up, going with the Discharge. That Volt Absorb prevents it from doing damage to Pawmot, but the ground typing prevents it from doing damage to Gabite, who does capitalize, going with the Gyro Ball onto Pawmot, doing very little damage with that not very effective move, as Tatsugiri is going to re-enter this contest, having the pointed stones and now dig into it. And Pawmot immediately meets it with the Scorching Sands. Not much damage being done there to the Water Dragon, but it's left it with that burn that is going to cut into that physical attack, but also do that passive damage. And Pachirisu following it up with the Trick Room. Just as the Lumiose Yellows get full speed control, Pachirisu playing around reverses the speed order, and Tatsugiri with the Soft Boiled is immediately going to restore its health, capitalizing now that the Draconids have speed control. They will be going again, as the Growl from Gabite is going to lower the physical attack of both Pawmot and Pachirisu here on the field, as we see that burn starting to take effect on Tatsugiri. But again, that speed control now with the Draconids. The Swift from Gabite connecting with both electric types, and Tatsugiri with the follow-up is going to go for the Flower Trick, this critical play onto the electric fighting type, but it does not do much damage, unfortunately, allowing Pachirisu to try and capitalize with the round on to Tatsugiri, getting some chip damage here. And Pawmot with the follow-up, Matcha Gotcha connecting with both Dragon types, capitalizing on their secondary typings here, and Pawmot is going to restore some of its own health in the process here. And as that does happen, Pawmot regaining its health, Tatsugiri continuing to lose its health due to the burn. Gabite is going to go with the Shift Gear, going to maximum gear here, boosting its speed a great deal, whilst also boosting that physical attack. It's got base 90 there, as well as Tatsugiri going with the Meteor Mash onto Pachirisu. Not very effective, doing very little damage, allowing Pachirisu to respond with the Trop Kick, getting some good damage there onto Tatsugiri, once again lowering its physical attack. And Pawmot with the follow-up is going to go for the Earth Quake, super effective on its own teammate, taking Pachirisu out of this match, clearly thinking it was playing around too much, but it does take Tatsugiri out as well, keeping the lead for the Yellows. It puts Gabite into knockout range as the Reflect does wear off for the Yellows. It is going to be Dragonair entering for the Draconids. It is Plusle entering for the Yellows, those pointed stones digging into Dragonair, but it has speed control, going with the superpower onto Pawmot, getting some great damage, but it is going to lower that physical attack as well as that physical defense of itself in the process to do that superpower. Plusle responds with the Shadow Claw, getting the critical play as well, massive damage onto Dragonair, but Dragonair is going to chow down in its Citrus Berry here, restoring its own health, similar to what we saw Gabite do with its Enigma Berry. Pawmot with the Guillotine, and it connects with the Oko to take Gabite out of this match. Pawmot is taking this very seriously, even after having taken out Pachirisu. Dragonair is all by itself with that Rough Skin. It does do damage to Pawmot, but it chows down on its Lancer Berry. It is getting pumped. It is ready for this, as Dragonair meets it with the Bitter Malice to take it out of this match, immediately getting that elimination in response to Gabite. But Plusle, looking to capitalize, goes for the Stomping Tantrum, and it gets another critical play to take Dragonair out of this match and get the victory for the Lumiose Yellows. Those quick eliminations at the end to finish off this back and forth contest, giving the Lumiose Yellows their third win in a row, moving them up to 6th place. Next round though, they do have the bye, but after that they will be going up against the Goldenrod Guild. Whereas for the Draconids, they have a huge contest as they'll be going up against the Montana Vero Sylphs next round, but until then, Nidorinos, thank you so much for watching. Let us know in the comments below who you thought was the best on field. And if you enjoyed what you saw, please leave a like, share, subscribe, but more importantly, always remember, you are awesome, and I'll see you when you see me.